Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Chess pieces. 16 times 2 equals 32. The number on the chest of George Floyd. So in other words, George Floyd was nothing but a chess piece. God rest his soul. That was indeed George Floyd. Go right ahead, brother.
So a couple things, because you dropped a lot of hammers right there. A lot of Nazism. I'm going to break it down kind of as I understand, if I can remember it all. Basically, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, they're kind of like two different wings of the same thing. They are, in fact, part of the CIA. CIA is part of Nazism. Now, Nazism, well, a lot of people don't know, was started basically by a group of the Wandervogel, WANDERVOGEL. And what they are is they were the version of Germany's Boy Scouts. And they were all boys who had been molested, and they had come up, and they were basically, it's called the Pink Swastika. And it's this group of gay Germans who started the Nazis. And that's where so it becomes this whole thing where it's like, if you look at NASA, Nazi looks very similar together. CIA, all these psyops, we've been talking. Not only was there drugs going through this club, there was sex trafficking, and there was counterfeit money. We all know the Floyd, just like the Honorable Bishop Larry Gators stated, was part of the Freemasons. Stephen Jackson's father was a level 33 Freemason, passed down the Freemason apron. He talks about it. We are now slowly watching Stephen Jackson elevate within the civil rights movement. He is he's even talked about becoming the face of it, and how he looks forward to, in fact, having it. A big thing that a lot of people are starting to get turned on to is that all of Black Lives Matter's money gets funded to Act Blue, and Act Blue is, in fact, the DNC. And why is that important? Because after the complete and utter hijacking of the 2016 election by Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders, who did what? We all say took a knee, right? Took a knee to Hillary Clinton. Everyone says that you bowed the knee, you bent the knee, which is a very much a submissive thing. It's, in Game of Thrones, they heard take the knee, take the knee, take the knee. It was the whole part of the final season, okay? So they couldn't make any money. The DNC could not make any money. Nobody's funding them. They literally had to go to where? They had to go to Canada, and where else? Mexico. What happened in Mexico? El Chapo was donating money to the DNC. That's why he ends up getting arrested, and he ends up being found guilty of sex trafficking. It's not just narcotics, dude. He actually openly admitted to child sex trafficking, and nobody wants to talk to that. So this funding of the DNC, the funding of Black Lives Matters, is actually the funding of the DNC, and that's 100% facts. And everybody hates Candace Owens for pointing out, but that is the truth, man. Tom Perez is a garbage man, and he hasn't been able to get any funding going because everybody knows that group is just a garbage group of people who have been either throwing it or they're so lost they don't even know when they're going. They're talking about Joe Biden. You know, Larry Gators brought this up earlier. You're talking about a city, Minnesota, Minneapolis, in a state, Minnesota, that's completely Democratic. Like, why are you going off on Trump when the cop was the cop police chief's Democratic, the mayor's Democratic, the governor's Democratic, the senators are Democratic, the congressmen are Democratic.
Dude, and everything changed there already. The cop's going to get arrested. Cop's going to get charged, all 4 of them. They defunded the police. I don't know what more they want from what happened.
But the point is they're trying to make this about a Trump thing when it's a Democrat thing. I mean, it's just the truth. Well, you know, nobody wants anybody to die.
Like the Russian hoax didn't work. The Ukraine hoax didn't work. COVID-19 was dying down, okay? And now you have George Floyd. Now, again, every time you words Black Lives Matter, in the Black Lives, excellent picture there, in the Black Lives Foundation, Brother Sam, it's nothing more than a shell company, okay? Black Lives Matter, they're looked at as a property. People are talking about, well, I want reparations. In other words, what you're saying, you need to be repaired because the acronym term for reparations means to be repaired. Oh, I believe in affirmative action, but the original content was not called affirmative action, Brother Sam. It was called affirmative property. So are you a property? Are you, do you need to be repaired? This is the PSYOP. And when talking about not just Black Lives Matter, but Antifa. Let me finish this real quick. And see, you guys got me started here. So, we're talking about not just the paradigm of manipulation, but also the paralysis of emotion. Now we're going to get into, before we get into Black Lives Matter, you notice the flag of Antifa, and it gets
real quick before you go there, because you brought up something I don't want you to move off this, because it's back to your funding thing. You brought up Christine Blasey Ford, right? Did you bring up her name?
Yes, sir.
The reason why she's very important, and I've told this, and like I was on Anthony Cumia's show, and he was bringing up Kavanaugh, and dude, I love Anthony. I love him, dude. I can't believe he has me on his show. It's kind of mind-blowing to me. But you know, I brought up, and he was like, you know, what happened to Kavanaugh? And I was like, well, you know, Christine Blasey Ford is CIA, and her father, because you're about to get into some funding.
Yes.
Her father was in charge of finding funding for CIA Black Ops operations. She, in fact, is part of the Stanford CIA intern program that is obviously at Stanford. So, like, she is that was a giant psyop to have nobody look at the fact that Kavanaugh worked with the Clintons to clean up the Vince Foster murders. Nobody talked about that. No one talked about that he he helped write the Patriot Act. No one talked that he basically thinks the president's above the law. No one talks that he's for no search warrants on your fucking house. Like that, they didn't want that out. So they create this thing using this chick and to fucking get everybody talking about sexual history instead of actual, what does this dude represent?
It wasn't even a history. It was her memory.
It wasn't even memory. It was made up that they go 2 witnesses. It was her husband and her therapist. Yeah. Nobody knew her. Neither of them knew her when she was in high school.
Yo, so give me a rough estimate on how much you think they funded.
Last time I saw it was 12.
14.
14 mil.
Yeah, and they were asking for 1.5 million.
That's crazy.
And that's not including what Kanye gave her, what the Disney fund gave her, what the homegirl gave her for the daughter.
Oh, you mean Disney gave it to her?
Yeah.
You know, did you see Barbara Streisand has given her shares of hers to the kid. I mean, this is what happens, man, when you buy what we've talked about this with 9/11. We talked about this with Magic Johnson, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre. In my opinion, Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane, they pay these guys an insane amount of money, give them insane amount of projects, and this way, because they are part of this manipulation. I don't know enough about Seth MacFarlane to go why they chose him, but what do we know about Johnny? And you, I would love to hear your opinion on this. What do we know about Family Guy? Oh, Family Guy was the only show ever to be canceled and to be brought back from the dead.
Right. And that's the problem. When you, again, these psyops.
Thank you, Johnny.
Not the only show.
And now I've been hearing through Q that there is an attorney in the state of Texas, Port Arthur, Texas. He said that the real George Floyd died 3 years ago. Now, the casket of this George Floyd was only 6'1.5", but the real George Floyd was 6'6.5".
Yeah.
This picture. This thing is a psychological CIA black operation. Now, why was George Floyd arrested? Because of a counterfeit $20 bill. Now, I found out 3 days ago through a contact in the Minneapolis Police Department, who's also a pastor friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name. He said that the serial numbers on the $20 bill, counterfeit bill, matches the serial numbers that the FBI confiscated back in December of 2019 at the port of Minneapolis. $1 million worth of counterfeit money came from China. Now, listen, the entire apparatus, not every cop, but most of the cops are on the take, not just because of drug trafficking and distribution, okay? And now, as a side note, the owner of that nightclub, who she said, oh, I didn't know George Floyd, I didn't know that George Floyd knew Derek Shave, and she's lying because George Floyd was a drug runner for Maya Santa Maria. Who is Maya Santa Maria? She is a close friend of Vanessa Bryant. How do I know that? Because Kobe Bryant, when he played for the Lakers,
Oh my God!
Once a year to play against the Minnesota Timberwolves, they frequented that club. Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, including Vanessa Bryant. So don't get me started on that. And when the FBI confiscated that $1 million worth of counterfeit money, it didn't hit the press until the 27th of January, the day after Kobe's death.
John, Bishop, real quick, about the video, real quick, did you notice that nobody in that video is wearing masks at all? Not one person in the video. So the question is, when did that video get taken? Because, okay, the cops aren't wearing it. Okay, a guy on a goofball, which is meth and fentanyl, okay? He's not wearing it, it's fine. Why are the people filming yelling, he can't breathe, let him up? Why aren't they wearing it? Because if anyone's going to wear it, it's those sheep. Why aren't they wearing a fucking mask? There's a chance this was filmed before all the COVID shit.
Before all, and you know, as a side note, again, we're talking about Stephen Jackson, okay? His father's name was George Aldridge, capital A-R-D-R-I-D-G-E. He was a 33rd degree Prince Hall Mason, that when he died, he left all of his garments to Stephen Jackson. Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes were the last people to interview Kobe Bryant. Did you know that? Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes were the last people to interview Kobe Bryant. Now, I'm not castigating Stephen Jackson, whose mother name is Juliet Jackson, and I'm not castigating the soul of George Floyd, who his mother's name was Judy Jackson. Wait a minute, I'm confused here.
Oh.
Which Jackson is it? So you have Juliet Jackson, that is Stephen Jackson's mother, and Judy Jackson, who supposedly passed away 2 years ago, George Floyd. This is a psyop in order to destroy the president and to destroy the Constitution. It's not going to work, okay? As we're talking about the paradigm of manipulation and the paralysis of emotion. And let me finish it, see. Oh my God, I wish we could be here all night. So we talk about Antifa. Now look at the flag of Antifa. Now the flag of Antifa was the flag. Oh, thank you so much, Brother Xavier. You are the OG, my friends. So when we talk about the insignia, now we talked about the foundation, the origination of Antifa, action going back to the Third Reich, which means realm of psyop. Now you notice those two flags, they are in the form of what I call Soviet sickles, or the sickle of communism that goes back to the Bolshevik Revolution. Now,
No, dude, Larry, the sickle goes even farther back to the black cube of Saturn and Saturn worshiping, dude. That is straight up out of Saturn worship. When you get a chance, talk to my boys who I love to death, and I didn't invite them to the thing, and I feel like shit. Talk to them about the black cube of Saturn and the Russian flag, and they'll tell you that whole thing derives from Saturn worship.
You're blowing my mind, Brother Sam, and, brother OG Xavier, and Brother Johnny. You guys are teaching me as well, as we're talking about the paradigm of manipulation and the paralysis of emotion. So the flag of Antifa that has that double sickle, then you also have the letter A with the circle around it. That's rooted in divinational witchcraft, okay? So the logo of Antifa goes back to a Soviet killer by the name of Mikhailovich Molotov. Write it down. Mikhailovich Molotov, who is the creator of the Molotov cocktail. So Mikhailovich Molotov created that double red and black flag going back to the October 17th, 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, where these communists, these Kaiserslautian devils, overtook the Romanovs and destroyed them. Why? With money from Wall Street through Jacob Schiff. And by the way, Adam Shifty Schiff is a blood descendant of Jacob Schiff of Kumlov and Company. Okay, that's another topic for another day. So then the flag of Antifa has a double sickle with the letter A and a circle around it. That's rooted in witchcraftism, warlockism. It's rooted also in the terms money magic. Okay, as we're talking about the paradigm of manipulation, the paralysis of emotion quickly. So Mikhailovich Molotov, who created the Molotov cocktail, which Antifa and Black Lives Matter are using.
Oh, man!
People destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So Mikhailovich Molotov was a statesman and a diplomat for Comrade Joseph Stalin, okay? So the insignia, the flag of Antifa, also points to the company called Arm & Hammer. Oh, is there an actor in Hollywood called Armie Hammer who is a descendant of that communist family? Another topic for another day. So again, as we close this out, my God, I wish I could stay here all night. As we're talking about that flag of Antifa, through the creator of the Molotov cocktail, okay, Mikhailovich Molotov. Now, as a side note, now I know you guys heard of Saul Alinsky, Bruce for Radical. His parents, his father's name was Benjamin Alinsky. His mother's name was Sarah Tantabaum. They worked with Lenin, Stalin, and Trotsky and was sent to Chicago in 1916, okay, a year prior to the death of the Romanovs. Why would the Bolsheviks send the parents of Saul Alinsky to create a communist caliphate in Chicago? This is the plan of the deep state. It is to destroy the first constitution in order to fulfill the second constitution. Yes, we had two constitutions.
What?
The second, in 1871, with pressure of the Vatican through Pope Pius IX, through the financial backing of the Rothschilds in Europe, they forced President Ulysses S. Grant to create a second constitution that has now forced our nation to become a corporation. These devils of the second constitution are battling against you and I because we are followers of the first Constitution. Now, Black Lives Matter. Lives matter. Now, I'm going to reveal something here. Now, there is a term here called thug. Now, the term thug, its origin or its psyop comes from the Thuggee secret society out of India. Capital Thuggee. Okay. Now, the first three founders of the Thuggee secret society were these Indian, nothing against Indian people, but were trying to reveal the psyop as to why people believe the paradigm of manipulation and the paralysis of emotion. So three of the founders of the Thuggee secret society, going back to the 1700s, was a man by the name of Bryant, capital Behram. His name is a Hindu name signifying that which is dark or blackness. That's Bryant. The second killer who had founded the Thuggee secret society was a man by the name of Lavith, capital Lavith, okay, which means life, or which also means live. And the third man that created the Thuggee secret society was a man by the name of Morty, capital M-O-O-R-T-I, capital M-O-O-R-T-I, okay, which means matter. I kid you not.
Damn!
So the first three creators of the Thuggee secret society, going back almost 300 years ago, was Bryant, black, Lavith, okay, life or lives, and Morty, matter or DNA. So the first letters of Bryant, B, Lavith, L, and Morty, M, B-L-M, Black Lives Matter.
They have pictures of
Thuggee? Is that Thuggee?
It's right there. There's a couple pictures. You can see them.
Pictures.
There's a guy that
There
has
you
an
go.
actual Thuggee life tattoo on him.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where Thug Life comes from?
Yeah.
Thug Life comes from. Can I say that? Oh my God! Thank you so much, Xavier, for showing those pictures. Now, and Xavier, can you do me a favor? Type in Thuggee and dash Kaylee, K-A-L-I. Okay. Kaylee was the goddess.
Oh shit! Yeah, we've seen her.
There you go. Now notice the foot. Notice the foot. Kind of a psyop of George Floyd.
Oh shit! Look at that,
There
Sam.
you go. So
Stepping on him.
Shaven was operating
Oh
under
my God!
Yes. Derek Shaven was operating under the spirit or demon Kaylee.
Look at the other one.
Also type in Kaylee, K-A-L-I, with his foot on a man's neck, or Kaylee foot on neck. So
Whoa,
Derek
the
Shaven had no idea.
Stranglers!
What? There you go. Derek Shaven had no idea what spirit he was operating under. It came from that psyop.
Oh
Kaylee.
my God!
Kaylee is a goddess in Hinduism, which means life. This is where we get the term thug life, because the goddess of the Thuggee secret society was Kaylee, which means life. Thug, Thuggee, life, Kaylee.
You
Whose
just
foot is on the
fucking dropped a hammer, dude.
There's a picture of Tupac right next to the fucking statue. They, dude.
And this is
there
behind
you
what?
go.
So
Oh my God. Oh, can you go back to Tupac's picture, Xavier?
Right there,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God. Look at that. You see, in the right foot of Kaylee, on the chest and the neck, it's a psyop. So Black Lives Matter, the schematical foundation, is from the first three creators of the Thuggee
oh
secret
my
society.
God, look at this right here.
Lavith, okay, life.
Oh yeah,
that
that's the one I
picture.
clicked on. Yeah, I'll show her now.
Enter. That's where the spirit of these three women, Alicia Garza, who is a Boule, a member of Omega Phi Beta, the second founder of Black Lives Matter,
Holy
a woman by the
shit,
name of
dude.
Patrice Cullors. She's Omega Phi Beta Boule. And the third sister is of Nigerian descent, Opal Temeti, She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. They're boulays.
All right.
These-
All right. Okay,
Go
Larry,
ahead, brother.
I
I'm sorry.
need
Go ahead.
I
Hey,
need
let me
to
finish real quick.
understand what you're saying to me.
Yes. Go
So
ahead, bro.
who is the head of the, is it like the Thuggees, or is it the CIA, or the CIA Thuggees, or is it a spirit? What is, I mean, like,
Yes.
give me
It's, and you hit it right on the button, man of God. It's a spirit. It's a psyop. But Black Lives Matter, Antifa, are creatures of the Central Intelligence Agency. See, you have to
and where does
understand, man of God.
Thuggee come into this?
So the term Thuggee comes into being when you look at the acronyms of Boule or Black Life Matters or property, scientific property. That comes from the spirit of the Thuggee, which U.S. intelligence have studied the history of the Black psyche and the Black mind. So the money that these three witches are getting are not from Black people. They're from people who don't look like we do and from people who don't have our best interests at heart, namely George Soros. He is using the pain and weaponizing our historical trauma against us by using the anger of these three Black women who hate Black men. And all these lesbian witches, that's what they, listen, I have no fear in me. But the answer to your question, it comes from a spiritual dynamic. It's a demon. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. And the question is, how did George Soros come up with this name? Because George Soros is a lover of Hindu Indian mythology. So George Soros, who is a lover of Hindu Indian mythology, of Bryant and labeth in Mortai, Black Lives Matter, has incorporated that into the pain and the misery of Black people. Why? Because they want to destroy this nation. So when you talk about Thuggee,
Oh my God. So the powers that be have hired the Thuggees to basically Shevin is a Thuggee, and he is part of an assassin cult, basically.
Yes. This Black Lives Matter is. Oh,
Johnny's living over there like nuts. He's not hearing
Johnny,
it.
do you
hear this, Johnny?
Understand any of this? Maybe Bishop Larry Gator shouldn't have said hello to you because you're not appreciating the gift he just gave you. Oh my God, I'm blown.
Black Lives Matter is operating under the psyop of the Thuggee Secret Society, who were the first ones to do the hand signs that the blood and Crips are doing. And after the Thuggees did the hand signs, then those white boys from Skulls and Bones did the hand signs. Where did the Bloods and Crips and every Latino gang in America learn that from? From the psyop of not just the Skulls and Bones, but going back to the demonic psyop of the Thuggee Secret Society.
Oh my
Their
God!
God is Kaylee, which means life. This is where you get the term thug life. It is a thug. You see, why do they wear their pants sagging? Take the word sagging and spell it backwards. You get the word niggas. Capital SAGGIN.
The use of that word is by Bishop Larry Gators and Bishop Larry Gators only, not by Sam Tripley or Johnny, occasionally by
This is me.
No,
This is
no,
me.
not
Now,
occasionally.
Thank you so much. And that's wisdom, Brother Sam. Thank you so
Yes,
much. So,
you did great.
The word, so that's it. So the word, and I said this some months ago, look on the Urban Dictionary, sagging, spelled backwards, is the word niggas. Or sagging with the G is G niggas, which we also get the term G unit. I'm sorry, 50 Cent. Is rooted in a thuggish Kaylee secret society. It's demonic. That's why they call themselves 2-pack, 20-pack, little bow wow, little kitten, because we don't look at ourselves as human beings, part of the human family. We look at ourselves as animals. And that's what the deep state looks at us, as a piece of a property of matter. Black Lives Matter. And that's the problem. And we're being used again and again. And this has nothing to do with racism, okay? It has nothing in Minneapolis. And as a side note, okay, when we talk about, there is a project, I'm going to get back to Black Lives. There's a project called Minneapolis 2040. Oh my God, let me break this down. Minneapolis 2040. So the powers that be in Minneapolis, they want to destroy the African American community and the Latino community through gentrification, just like the LA riots in 1992. Had nothing to do with Rodney King and those 4 cops. That was a psyop because Senior Bush wanted to, through gentrification, destroy South Central, Watts, and Compton in order to build high-rise buildings. So in Minneapolis 2040, 80%, and this is going to blow yours mind now, 80% of the buildings, Brother Sam and Brother Johnny and Brother Xavier, that were destroyed were legally underwritten through insurance by Berkshire Hathaway. Who owns Berkshire Hathaway? Warren Buffett. Wait a minute now. So the rioters don't know that they're being, yes, so the buildings, not all, but most of the buildings that were destroyed during the rioting in Minneapolis were underwritten by Berkshire Hathaway through the National Indemnity Insurance Company, which Warren Buffett owns. So these thousands of bricks all over the country through the Acme Brick Company, capital ACME, 80% is owned by Warren Buffett. The other 20% is owned by Governor Jay Pritzker of Illinois, who is the CEO over the Mornbong Group. And as a side note, the helicopter that Kobe died on, the Sikorsky 76B, was bought 3 years prior to the death of Kobe Bryant in January 2017. As the executives from the Island Holdings Group out of Van Nuys traveled to Chicago and bought that Sikorsky 76B helicopter for $517,000 from who? From the Mormon Group that's owned by the Pritzker family. I'm not blaming them for Kobe's death. I'm just connecting the dots. All right, go right ahead, Sam.
There's a whole website on Minneapolis 2040. It'll explain to you exactly. They're trying to change the whole city up. So
get rid of all the small buildings, so they're all high rise.
It's a change of building. I didn't read the whole thing, but
Agenda 21, which is get everybody from the little cities and the farmland, all Johnny's cousins, and get them to move to like the big city so they can control us. It's what's going on in China. Oh my God.
But they don't need earth-moving equipment. They're using the rioters. Because through problem reaction solution, they know if they see a white cop. Now, if black folk killing each other, black folk don't do anything. There is no Reverend Al vitamin B deficient Sharpton, no Louis Bean Pie Farrakhan, or Jesse Jackson. Okay, but when you see a white cop, for whatever reason, kills a black kid, then all of these and why do we see these men? Because the boulets. Why do we see Benjamin Crump, who is Sigma Pi Phi? Because your listeners can go on the Benjamin Crump Institute website and look under About Benjamin Crump, go down to the 3rd paragraph and the 4th and 5th sentence of the 3rd paragraph on the Benjamin Crump Institute. He is a member of Sigma Pi Phi. He is a Boule, a member, amen, of the Michael R. Moore Lodge in Tallahassee, Florida. And as a side note, there was a black woman in your neck of the woods, gentlemen. She was found dead a week or two ago by the name of Josh Waters, okay? Now, she was about to write an op-ed for the Los Angeles Times concerning the hidden life of Kobe Bryant. And all of a sudden, she ends up dead. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm telling you, this is a paradigm of manipulation, the paralysis of emotion. And as I end this tonight, so Black Lives Matter are ran by 3 witches, okay? Alicia Garza, Omega Phi Beta, Boule, Patrice Cullors, Omega Phi Beta, Boule, and Opa Temeti of Nigerian descent, Alpha Kappa Alpha. They're all Boule witches. And you're going to hear a lot of black people come after me. I don't care. I am a contract killer. My job is to decapitate demons, as we're talking about the paradigm of manipulation and the paralysis of emotion. So yes, thug life comes from the psyop through Indian mythology, through Hinduism, of a Thuggee seeker society going back 200 to 300 years, who used to assassinate British leaders and leaders from all over the European continent. And as a side note, like I said during the first half of the broadcast, that the term Africa was not the name of the original continent. It's named after Scipio Africanus of the Africanus family in the Roman Empire, who practiced spirit cooking long before and Marina Abramovich, that witch. But also Europe. The term Europe is named after a woman of color by the name of Europa. So all of Africa was named after a white Roman general, and all of Europe is named after a woman of color. Another topic for another day. So Black Lives Matter, okay, is the second head of this serpent on the body of this 32nd, 33rd degree system. How do we destroy it? You don't go after Black Lives Matter, or even Act Blue, or even Antifa. You go after George Soros. You cut it off at the top. I believe that this is Bishop. This is not Sam saying this, or Brother Xavier, or Brother Johnny. I believe that the president has got to take him out. I don't know how they're going to do it. You got to take out George Soros, Bill Gates, through the Bill and Melinda Robin Williams Gates Foundation. You got to take out all these devils who are trying to pull the emotional strings of black people. Because most of the rioters don't come from Minneapolis, they come from out of state, okay? And this is the end of what we call the paradigm of manipulation in the paralysis of emotion. Any questions here?
No, dude.
round of applause.
My
That was it.
mind, dude. We got blown minds here. We got lots of minds.